Okay guys, we have a lot going on. I've just come back from a night out, and instead of going to sleep, I am giving you guys everything that is going on. Hey guys, it's Murad Murali, daily and consistent content. Let's get straight into this video. We have a lot to get through, guys. I'm going to try to get through it as quickly as possible, so let's stay focused. Let's be thorough and concise. So Buzbee seems to have made a filing, a very strongly worded filing that is solidly focused on Combs, Diddy, the Combs enterprise, and in this filing he basically is discussing a new SA lawsuit, and in regards to it he is demanding, or the plaintiff demands, a trial by jury on her claims in this action. Now he lists several lawsuits that Diddy is currently facing civil. He also describes the fact that Diddy has been indicted. He mentions Cassie as well. Jennifer Lopez's name was also dropped for the fact that she was just around, scenarios, but Cassie's name was dropped as well, and for the fact that, she was drugged and etc., echoing her lawsuit. That is the gist of the majority of what he's saying before he gets into the factual allegations of the lawsuit, which I'm going to read out to you, which is the main chunk of what he is saying. Factual allegations: plaintiff and her female friend visited New York City in December of 1991 to spend Christmas with two of her friends who lived in the city. After the holiday, plaintiff stayed in the city to attend an event, and she was invited by another acquaintance. The event was a charity basketball game occurring at City College in New York. Plaintiff and her female friend were dropped off at the event early so they can get in to see their favorite rappers, but once she spoke to security, she and her friend were led in ahead of the crowd. Once inside, plaintiff watched security attempt to contact her rapper friend via radio but was unable to do so. That co-sponsor was an up-and-coming producer by the name of Puffy Combs. Plaintiff asked to be directed to Puffy. Despite not knowing who that was, she and her friend were taken to an office at the back of a locker room where Diddy had a makeshift dressing room set up. He introduced himself and his bodyguard, who then stood outside the door where they talked. Plaintiff's friend told Diddy how excited she was to be, then how much she wanted to meet some of the other celebrities there. After mentioning her favorite rapper, Diddy said that he could take her to see him because at this point Diddy was not popular, and the plaintiff should stay and keep waiting for Myers. Plaintiff did so, but Myers did not arrive. Eventually, Diddy returned with a plastic cup full of what he purported to be Coca-Cola. Plaintiff drank some, and then she did not like the taste and unfortunately began to feel woozy, attempted to leave to find her rapper friend on her own, but Combs blocked her exit. He told her she needed to stay, and that is when she noticed he was touching himself in a very suggestive manner. He began to fondle plaintiff, overpowered her, and then removed her underwear and began doing, essaying her basically. Shortly after this began, Combs was called to the door by the bodyguard who was standing watching the other side. Combs came back and told the plaintiff he had to go deal with something. Plaintiff told Combs what he did was not right and she needed to tell her rapper friend because she was there to see him. Combs told her that she could not do that because people can come up missing and that she would never know. Eventually, plaintiff, was able to leave out, and the scene outside was chaotic. There were people packed into the building and running in every direction. She spent half an hour looking for her friend before finding the exit, and plaintiff eventually found her friend, and the two of them made it to a phone call for a ride home. So that is the gist of this lawsuit. It's a very strongly worded filing. If you read the entire lawsuit, guys, Buzbee opens this up by dragging P. Diddy, dragging the Combs enterprises, listing several old, current, civil and indicted, all of these lawsuits that, even Lil Rodney Jones, even Adria English, he lists everybody and says what this guy's been doing, what he's basically faced, to remind whoever's going to read this that look what this man is doing before he even gets to the factual allegations. The fact that Buzbee has even had the time to write and file this lawsuit on December the 20th, considering that he's facing Alex Spiro right now, is another question within itself as to how he's even doing that. But I discussed this lawsuit, now I recall, I discussed it I think yesterday I discussed this when I said that Diddy was facing two lawsuits back to back, and one of them was being repped by Tony Buzbee. Some of us had questions that, 1991 Diddy wasn't famous, so what is going on here? Well, this lawsuit, it's now been revealed, shows us in detail that in actuality she was looking for the famous people there, and Diddy wasn't one of them. But of course, Diddy at that moment was somebody who could lead her to these famous people. He lied and essayed her, and basically she was I don't know how she got out of that situation and found her friend and got out. But that is the gist of the lawsuit, and I wanted to just let you guys know that in less than 4 minutes. Now, what I think is very intriguing to me is that Dame Dash has come to speak out, and he calls Jay-Z's lawyer Alex Spiro a liar and says it's extreme that Jay-Z said Diddy is not his friend. Now, of course, Jay-Z and Dame Dash have had their issues, let's just say, but at the same time, I do feel like this is where Alex Spiro really messed up, because now you're going to have people who know Jay-Z, who know Diddy, who've been in those circles, and for some reason everybody forgets that Dame Dash also dated Aaliyah as well. I just want to throw that out there. I don't feel like Dame Dash is innocent, to be honest with you. If we feel like Jay-Z's not innocent because of Diddy's association and now a pending lawsuit, I don't know why we need to believe that Dame Dash is suddenly some innocent angel. But at the same time, this is where Alex Spiro really shot himself in the foot by basically saying that, you know, Jay-Z and Diddy were not friends. They basically never were, when everybody's basically seen with pictures and videos and footage. You don't have to go to somebody's... Just because Jay-Z did not invite Diddy to his wedding does not mean that they weren't friends, bro. I strongly despise everybody who's using that as a rebuttal when there's plenty of footage of P. Diddy saying himself that they were close friends, part of an inner circle.
I'm having a great night. There's only one person.
Oh, go on.
And I call him Sean. That's Jay-Z. We call each other Sean.
Okay.
Yeah. Nobody else could call me Sean.
He's the only person who's Sean approved.
There's not a single person that
outside of family.
That should be outside of my mother.
Okay, just
that should be calling me. Yeah, that should be calling me Sean.
Through my ups and downs, whenever I get in trouble, this is the one I call. It's my strategist right here. This is my brother.
That they are a close network and team, and him basically saying to Jay-Z on stage that this is my strategist, and Jay-Z confirms by saying absolutely, like he says, yes, I am. So for those who are acting like, you know, Jay-Z and Alex Spiro were writing this, is ridiculous to me. It truly does not make any logical sense. I just think that it was the wrong move to make, because now it looks like you're hiding something. For Dame Dash to come out now and say he's lying, Jay-Z's a liar, they absolutely were friends, again, only adds credence to the fact that what we're saying is that it looks like Jay-Z has something to hide. It was the wrong move to make. It was the wrong statement for Alex Spiro to make. He did not need to say that or add that extra juice at the end to say that they weren't friends, because now you got Dame Dash out here saying, well, you know, you guys are lying, and you know, this is the last thing that Jay-Z wants, because he also wants to win the PR war, and stuff like this doesn't help, because Dame Dash, of course, had met and known both of them. Now we got to get into a conversation about Diageo, where, you know, we all feel like this basically started because Diddy wanted to file a racial discrimination lawsuit against Diageo, and it was going well his way initially, but of course Diageo was like, absolutely not, I'm going to find people to come for Diddy, which is basically kind of what Rock Nation is doing to Buzbee, finding people to come for Buzbee in a weird way, let's just say. But it's basically being reported, guys, that via rolling out, that the gin brand back in 1998 that P. Diddy launched, according to Rolling Out, could lose completely, as the music mogul and Gordon's Gin and Bailey's maker Diageo are now said to be exploring selling Ciroc vodka completely. And, you know, I think that this just makes sense. Ciroc vodka was so intertwined with P. Diddy. Everywhere that man went, he was about his money, he was about his business, he knew what he was doing, he was about his brand. He would promote that everywhere. He would get everybody, every celebrity he knew, every red carpet, everywhere that man went, he would promote Ciroc vodka everywhere. And so I feel like Diageo coming to this decision now to wanting to sell Ciroc vodka makes sense, because it's just so damaging their relationship, Diddy and, you know, Diageo's brand. This is the way that Diageo can completely and 110% detach themselves away from Diddy. They're still kind of attached because Ciroc is still there. And so I feel like they need to just do this, because P. Diddy's case has not been wrapped up and he's just been sent away. It hasn't even begun. The trial begins on 5th of May and he's facing so many pending lawsuits every other day, just 2 and 48 hours. So, you know, Diageo need to be like, listen, okay, he's been indicted, we've got out of contracts, cool, but Ciroc, how can that continue to evolve with Diddy's, you know, association? Are you going to get other celebrities to be the face of Ciroc? Surely that's a risk, because what if they go through something, number one. Number two, people are still going to think of Diddy regardless. So the only choice is for them to sell stuff, and this is the part of the Diddy stuff that I find to be very intriguing personally, the financial movements that companies need to make in order to survive and what they choose to do. I just find that to be very intriguing, because everybody can also move different depending on what crisis and PR teams you have behind you, and oftentimes people just make mistakes with what they do. People can't read the online world, you know, it's way harder than it looks. But I think that this move makes sense. Destroy that Ciroc vodka nonsense, come up with something else, find other people to promote it, because, you know, it just doesn't make any sense. But again, it's really bad news for P. Diddy, Buzbee, and this strong worded filing that's basically been released. Then of course, you know, you have the fact that that man has been reported to be significantly skinnier in new court sketches. He's worried about poison food and he's losing weight fast. He definitely is going to be very thin when it comes to his trial, probably I wouldn't be surprised, dare I say it, a PR plan to be skinny when it comes to your trial, so that people can see that, you know, you're really facing stuff and, you know, woe is me, pause me, maybe, I don't know. But he's definitely losing weight very fast, and he just fears that people are trying to kill him. Paranoia is definitely seeking in as well. And of course, Dame Dash coming in doesn't help Jay-Z's case. It doesn't really help anything at this moment of time. The case has not been dismissed, so, you know, I think it would help if the alleged victim, the woman who is now a grown person, would maybe come forward and show her identity. I think that helps to add credibility to this conversation and to this case. I do want to leave this video with a question for you guys, that do you guys feel that people should be able to be anonymous in this state? And I feel like, you know, for their safety and for the essay stuff and the trauma they have gone through. But a lot of people I've spoken to feel like, how can somebody be anonymous and then ruin somebody's public career? Surely that's also unfair. Surely the person should be prepped to be you know, coming with their identity and their face, which is why so many of these Buzbee lawsuits that he filed have actually been dismissed, because the people are refusing to show their face, and the judge has requested, please show yourselves. You can't file it anonymously because of the gravity of the cases and etc. But at the other side, it's like the public weight of this conversation, you know, can it be a lot for these alleged victims? It's very interesting, but I've spoken to a lot of my friends, and a lot of people are like, well, you know, how can an anonymous person ruin a public person's life? Surely that person should also be public. And so I see both sides of the conversation and the argument, and so I want to leave that question to you guys in the comments. Should you guys believe that alleged victims should be anonymous? And I do understand the importance of being anonymous, but I can also see what other people say when they're like, well, you know, yeah. Anyways, subscribe to the channel, comment down below, give this video a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. Send a super thanks if you guys wish to. They go a long way. Shout out to those who have done so in the previous videos. I get notified and I'm thankful. It is 5 a.m. and I should be sleeping. I came back out from a night out, but I just wanted to give you guys the updates for what is going on. Subscribe and I'll catch you guys soon for another video.